Within hours of announcing a massive attack on Iran, Iran launched a powerful counterattack on Israel. This is considered one of the most serious attacks so far. Over about 7 hours, Iran fired 5 large ballistic missiles at Israel's strategic energy hub. The missiles did not only target military bases, but also administrative buildings and security headquarters, which are considered the center of Israeli power. Most of alarming moment came when Iran targeted the residence of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This attack not only showed Iran's military capabilities but also demonstrated how deep its intelligence reach might be. It also raised serious questions about Israel's strong defense systems, such as the Iron Dome, which are believed to be almost impossible to penetrate. In today's discussion, we will talk about the message behind the Iranian missile that reportedly reached the residence of Prime Minister Netanyahu, and the global energy concern linked to the Strait of Hormuz. This Iranian strike was not only a military response but also a strategic message. Iran clearly warned Gulf countries that if attacks on Iran are launched from American bases located on their land, their economic systems could face serious consequences. This time, Iran appears to be following a strategy that targets not only military bases but also economic infrastructure that supports Israeli and American military presence. In this context, the attacks on airports are also seen as part of Iran's border strategy. Iran has stated that if the United States and Israel continue their aggressive stance, it will not limit the conflict to its own borders. Instead, the confrontation could expand and affect economic and political interests connected to both countries. Recent missile strikes by Iran, reaching areas from the Strait of Tel Aviv to locations connected with the leadership of Netanyahu, have made it clear that the rules of conflict in the Middle East may be changing. The situation suggests that no side can feel completely safe. For Israel, this moment represents a serious challenge. For decades, Israel has been seen as a dominant power in the region, supported by the military and strategic backing of the United States. However, these recent events have raised concern about security and stability even within Israel itself. Iran has sent a strong message by firing missiles from Tel Aviv's main military areas towards the residence of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The message suggests that Israel's security system may not be as strong and impenetrable as it once appeared. Many people in Israel are worried that if Iran and its allied groups increase their joint attacks, Israel's physical and political security could face serious danger. Even Western media have reported that Iranian missiles have revealed weaknesses in Israel's defense systems. This has created strong psychological pressure on Israeli society and its military leadership. At the same time, Iran's position appeared taut and more determined than before. Iran considers this conflict a defense of its sovereignty and national existence, while the White House is pressuring Iran to surrender unconditionally. Iran is responding through military action. Iranian leaders have made it clear that they are no longer afraid of Western threats. Iran's strategy is not only defensive, It is also challenging Israel's presence in Middle East and strengthening what it calls the exit of resistance, according to Iran's views. Weakening Israel in the region could allow Islamic countries to gain greater influence in the Middle East. For these ideological and strategic reasons, Iran has directed much of its military power and ballistic missile towards Israel. Israel's consorship controversy. Israel's military consorship during the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran has become a major topic of discussion worldwide. The Israeli government has now banned live broadcasts of the sky over Israel when warning sirens sound during missile or drone attacks. This step is meant to stop real information about damage inside Israel from being revealed. At the beginning of the conflicts, Israeli media often showed footage of the country's air defense system destroying Iranian missiles in the sky. However, the situation has changed after some Iranian missiles reportedly reached Israeli defenses and damaged important military and strategic locations in Tel Aviv. Authorities placed strict limits on broadcasting such footage. The consorship is new, now so strict that filming a missile landing near sensitive or security-related locations is considered a crime in Israel. In this situation, reports by the BBC have highlighted the tense condition inside Israel. According to these reports, Tel Aviv, often considered the heart of Israel, is facing a partial lockdown because of repeated missile attacks from Iran. Fear among residents is high. Many streets appear empty, and most shopping malls and shops remain closed. The most surprising and frightening things that earlier warning sirens would sound when Iranian missiles or rockets were approaching. This gave people time to go to bunkers for safety, but now, in many cases, missiles are hitting buildings without any warning sirens. This situation is seen as a major failure of Israel's security and intelligence system, which Israel is reportedly trying to hide from the world. The military has also banned reporting about damage in civilian areas. Because of this restriction, independent journalists find it difficult to report the latest development inside Israel. The main reason for this military consortium is to prevent fear and panic among the Israeli public and to stop Iran from getting accurate information about where its missiles are hitting. Iranian Foreign Ministry Abbas Araghchi has also criticized Israel's actions. According to him, Israel is trying to hide the truth that its air defense system have been damaged and that Iranian missiles have shaken the city of Tel Aviv. Reports by international media organizations such as the BBC have highlighted these issues. These reports suggest that although Israel presents itself as very strong publicly, there is serious concern inside the country about Iranian attacks. Even media outlets like Fox News have questioned the strict consortium inside Israel. This suggests that the real situation of the war may be more serious than what is officially reported. As a result, Iran is trying to show its success by releasing military footage, while Israel appears to be limiting information to manage its internal crisis. The conflict between Iran and Israel is not limited to military bases and naval forces. This war has turned the lives of ordinary people in both countries into a difficult and frightening situation. While Iranians' missiles continue to strike areas connected to Israel, a tense situation is also developing in Iran's capital, Tehran. Many Iranian citizens are living in fear and uncertainty. People worry that a missile could fall at any moment and destroy their homes. This fear has caused deep psychological stress, especially for children, women, and elderly people. This is one of the harsh realities of war, where innocent civilians often suffer the most during political and military conflicts. As Iran continues to launch missiles towards Israel, the United States and Israel have also carried out heavy airstrikes on Tehran and nearby areas according to a list released by Iran. Around 10,000 locations inside Iran have been targeted by the United States and Israel. Iran claims that this list includes not only military sites but also places where ordinary people live, including women, children, and elderly residents. Under international laws of war, protecting civilian areas during conflicts is considered an important rule. However, Iran claims that these rules have not been respected in this war. These accusations are serious because Iran believes there may be a strategic reason behind attacks on civilian areas, government to stop the war. It seems that the United States and Israel are trying to use this human suffering to increase pressure on Iran. By attacking areas where people live, they may hope to create fear and anger among the Iranian population. It is difficult to imagine the fear felt by children in Tehran when explosions and flames appear in the night sky. The sounds of missiles and bombs can create deep fear and stress for families. Iran has called these attacks acts of brutality by Western powers and has said it is ready to pay any price to protect its citizens. Iran's recent actions have also turned the Strait of Hormuz into one of the most dangerous areas in the world. This narrow waterway is often called the world's energy lifeline because a large part of the global oil supply passes through it. The conflict between Iran, Israel, and United States is no longer limited to land. It has also moved to the sea. Iran has shown that it may use its military strength and strategic location to put pressure on the global economy. Recently, missiles were fired at several large commercial ships in the region, disrupting shipping traffic. One of the major incidents involved a Thai ship traveling from the UAE's Khalifa port to India. This attack could potentially affect energy supplies to South Asia. The ship had about 20 crew members on board. They were rescued by the Omani Navy and taken to safety, although the ship suffered heavy damage earlier that week. A Japanese flagged ship and another vessels about 50 miles away were also hit by missiles. No group officially claimed responsibility, but the location and nature of the attacks had raised suspicions about Iran's involvement. Earlier, Iran's military command had warned that ships connected to the United States, Israel, or their allies might not be allowed to pass safely through the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian officials have also warned that ships linked to Israel could be targeted and that oil shipment could be disrupted. Iran has also warned that sea mines may be placed in water around the strait, according to intelligence reports from the United States. Many small Iranian boats in the area could be used to deploy these mines. The rising tension in the Strait of Hormuz is not only a military conflict, it could also affect the global economy. Around 20 to 25% of the world's crude oil supply passes through this narrow route. If shipping in this area stops, fuel prices could rise sharply around the world and many industries could face serious problems. Iran has reportedly deployed a large number of small boats and missile systems along its coast, turning the area into a highly tense and dangerous zone. The conflict is now taking the form of hybrid warfare, where not only American or Israeli ships but even ships heading to neutral countries like India could be a by linking its conflict to global energy supply routes. Iran is increasing pressure on the United States and Western countries. If ship attacks or sea mine deployment continues in the strait, the conflict could cause long-term damage to the global economy. These latest confrontations between Iran and Israel has disrupted the balance of power in the Middle East that existed for decades. The conflict is no longer limited to the borders of Israel and Iran. It now affects the Strait of Hormuz and major international trade routes. The attacks on Thai and Japanese ships and the threat of sea mines show that if the war continues, it could weaken the economic stability of South Asia countries and even affect the entire world. Viewers, please share your thoughts about today's discussion in the comments. If you like today's video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also press the bell icon so you will be the first to know when we upload new videos. That's all for today. I will return with more interesting and informative content in the next video. Until then, goodbye.